The Dallas Cowboys just made a trade for the former 3rd overall draft pick, Trey Lance. And oh my God, everybody's going crazy. What does this mean for Dak? The national media going crazy. Your Dak haters going crazy. Everybody got a lot to say, right? Man, shut all that noise up. Ain't nobody trying to hear that. Let's break down why this happened, and we're going to get right into it, man. And we're going to smarten you guys up that likes to listen to Fox Sports and ESPN and etc. Don't be stupid. Let's get into the real reason why this happened right here on the Dallas Cowboys Update. Let's go. Yep. Welcome back to another Dallas Cowboys Update brought to you by DopeContent.com here on the Dope Sports Podcast. And you see it on the screen. Trey Lance was just traded to the Dallas Cowboys for a 4th round draft pick. I absolutely love it. I thought it was funny once the news broke down because I actually did the same thing on my Madden franchise, believe it or not. Earlier in the week, I believe, actually last week, so it was Thursday, started the Madden franchise with the Cowboys. I always do them first. Trey Lance was on the trade block week 2. I traded Cooper Rush and a 4th overall pick for Trey Lance. So I know my reasons why I did it, but I'm going to tell you the reasons why Jerry Jones did it, because his reason might be different from mine, but I'm pretty sure it's very similar because it's just common sense. A lot of people blowing my Facebook up, asking questions. They're confused. Then you got the Dak haters saying, oh, you know, they don't believe in Dak. That's why they made this move. Then you got the Cowboys fans that are Dak haters saying, oh, man, see, Dak might be done. And then you got people that ain't not even fans or haters. They just, well, actually, they are haters because they don't cover the Cowboys. They cover like the Saints and things like that. And they're just making up stuff in their sports groups and tagging me saying, oh, they don't believe in Dak and Dak is struggling to find a new offense. How the hell you know Dak is struggling in a new offense? You ain't been to not one camp. You ain't did not one video on the Cowboys this offseason or preseason. You don't know anybody at camp. I know that for a fact because I know people at camp that's there. Don't none of them know you. And you're sitting there talking about what he's doing in practice. How do you know that he's struggling in the offense? He hasn't played not one preseason game. You haven't been at training camp, nor have you received any text or footage from training camp outside of, oh, Dak threw 20 touchdowns, but here's a video of Dak throwing an interception. So you take that and you take Fox Sports, Shady McCoy, you take those little highlights and say, oh, Dak don't know the offense or he's struggling in the new offense. You don't know that at all, and you're wrong. So you know what you can do?
Shut up, bitch.
That's right. That's right. Stop talking about stuff you have no clue about, especially when you consider yourself a sports reporter, because you're lying to these folks, you're clickbaiting, and you just look stupid at the end of it. Stop it. But I'm not going to rant on that because y'all know how I do. Let's get into a Cowboys trade for Trey Lance, and a lot of people are confused. ESPN, Stephen A. Smith couldn't wait to make his little video. Ooh, see? Why do you need another quarterback? You don't believe in Dak Prescott either. They're letting you know now that all next week is going to be Trey versus Dak Prescott all of a sudden. The same Trey Lance that y'all was talking trash about this past week because San Francisco put Sam Darnold over Trey. The same guy y'all was talking down on, y'all gonna all of a sudden say, oh, he's in competition with Dak. How does it make sense? But I'm letting y'all know now, if you're watching this, that's what you're gonna hear all next week. They were running out of topics when it came to Dak Prescott. They were running very thin. If you've been keeping up with Fox Sports and ESPN, they were running out of topics. They've been saying the same thing for the past 2 months. Dak hasn't played a playoff game. They don't go to training camp. Shady McCoy and Emmanuel Acho, they went out there for 30 minutes and then got on there and lied. They didn't even see practice. They left before practice even started. And then Shady McCoy get on there lying, talking about Tony Pollard looked great. I liked what Tony Pollard was doing. He was cutting in this. Tony Pollard didn't even practice that practice. Tony Pollard was rehabbing that practice. He didn't practice that day. So what did you see, Shady McCoy? Oh, he was cutting through the gaps. What gaps? What gaps? He probably had on some clothes from the gap, but he ain't cut through no gaps. He didn't practice that day. So, but this is who y'all listen to. This is who y'all listen to. This is who y'all listen to. I'm kind of venting because I didn't come home to make no Cowboys video today. After a long day at work, it's a Friday. My birthday is in 2 days. I came home to chill. It's 107 degrees still right now in Texas. And it's what time is this? What time is it? It is 9 o'clock. And it's 100 degrees still, right? I was in bed clothes, bro. I had to put on the shirt and a little hat just to present myself for this video because people were blowing my Facebook up, right? So let's get into Trey Lance. It's not complicated. Don't overthink it. It's not a Trey versus Dak Prescott thing. That is not the case. If that's what you're thinking, stop it now. That is not the case. Trey Lance was brought here for insurance. And I'm going to give you the reasons I say that is because, once again, Dak Prescott is 30 years old. Dak Prescott is dealing with a contract. He's dealing with contract negotiations right now because Dallas is trying to extend Dak, most likely, or, restructure. But most likely they're trying to extend Dak because if you extend Dak, that pushes some of his money and that cap hit down the line, and that will allow you to assign Micah Parsons and re-sign CeeDee Lamb. And then you still got a decision to make with people like Tyron Smith and then Terrence Steele. And you still got decisions that you got to make, but you're not going to be able to make any of those decisions unless Dak is extended and you push that money and that salary cap hit down the line. So if Dak, for whatever reason, decides to play hardball and don't do the extension or whatever the case is, or things just randomly go bad, you now have a young up-and-coming former 3rd overall pick sitting there waiting on him for cheap, waiting to take his place for cheap. This guy is talented. It just didn't work out in San Francisco. He got injured last year, which I hated it when it happened. If you watch the sports podcast, you know when that happened, I was like hurt for him because I felt like he was going to have a good year. What Brock Purdy did last year, Trey Lance could have did the same thing, in my opinion. Now, let's get to Trey Lance being here. Because a lot of people talking about, Cooper Rush. Y'all overhyped the hell out of Cooper Rush last year, right? I'd rather have Trey Lance as the number 2 over Cooper Rush. Yes, I said it. Yes, I know Cooper Rush went, 4-1 last year, right? But stop acting like Cooper Rush won those games. He didn't win those games. The defense won that game. All Cooper Rush had to do was just not turn the ball over. That's all he had to do. They completely turned that offense into safe zone. They wasn't going deep down the field like that. They wasn't taking risks. It was very simple play calling just to make sure he don't turn the ball over, and the defense dominated. They were scoring 14 or 17 points a game during that win streak. And when Dak came back, they instantly went back off the charts. Stop acting like Cooper Rush is the reason they went 4-1 when Dak was out. And then Dak come back all of a sudden, see, Cooper Rush is better than Dak. Shut up. You sound stupid. Trey Lance could have did the same thing Cooper Rush did, and probably even better because Trey Lance can actually run as well. And I think he's a better passer than Cooper Rush. I'm not letting that Cooper Rush 4-1 hype and what he did against the Vikings 2 years ago cloud my judgment of Cooper Rush. Because if Cooper Rush was really like that, he had a chance to get signed this offseason by another team. Nobody came and got him. So if he was really like that, somebody would have came and got him. Nobody came and got him. Nobody offered him a contract outside of Dallas because they know that defense is what is the reason Cooper Rush went 4-1. That's what it was. It wasn't Cooper Rush dominating. Cooper Rush is putting up 160 yards a game. And y'all talking about Cooper Rush was winning the games. Stop this, man. Stop this. If Trey Lance here and Trey Lance running the West Coast offense as well, that's something to take into consideration. And he's the number 2 guy. I feel good. if you want to throw him out there, like what's the Saints guy? What's the guy in this that they throw out there every now and then? Is it Tristan Hill? What's the quarterback? I can't even think of his name right now. But you know how they throw him out there every now and then to just run options and do whatever running that he's doing. Trey Lance can do that. Run play options, whatever. Trey Lance can do that. You seeing on these highlights, Trey Lance can throw the ball. He's better than what y'all think he is. Yeah, he's been getting clapped. He got injured last year. Brock Purdy took his job. Again, Brock Purdy was put in a situation where anybody could win. Cooper Rush could have went to San Francisco and won 10 games under that system. That's what I'm saying. Brock Purdy, I don't think he might be better than Trey Lance, but I don't think he's that much better than him. And honestly, me personally, I don't think he's better than Trey Lance. He just came in and fit right in the system. He just didn't turn the ball over. I think Trey Lance would have had the same success last year if he never got injured. If Trey Lance would have went 4-1, and he probably would have went 5-0 and beat the Eagles if he was number 2 in Dallas last year. Because again, Trey Lance can make plays on his feet that Cooper Rush can't. And I think Trey Lance is a better quarterback. I'm just saying. So now that we got this here, Dak Prescott, this is not to put no pressure on Dak Prescott. This is not to put no heat on Dak Prescott or nothing. Even though I've already said this year is a proven year for Dak. Dak has to win this year for multiple reasons. And if he doesn't win, let's say they win 12 games again this year and they get to the playoffs and they lose another game where they scored 13 points. Yeah, now it's time to start looking at Dak like, hey, man, it's time to move on. If you're going to just give us an average of 13 to 17 points in the playoffs every year, it's time to move on. And what better way to move on than to have a guy that's sitting back here that's 23 years old with a lot of talent and getting a fresh start. Getting a fresh start, just sitting there waiting. So, yeah, this is a proven year for Dak, and they did this for multiple reasons. One is because, you know, they have a contract extension that they need to get done with Dak in order for them to be able to re-sign CeeDee Lamb, Michael Parsons, maybe Terrence Steele, and whoever else. Because you already got Diggs done. You already got Zach Martin done. But in order to have any money for next year, hell, if you want to re-sign Gilmore, you got to start with extending Dak, or you're going to have to let him go. Those are your options. You either extend them or you let them go. And most likely they're going to extend them. But just in case things go sour, if things go south, you got a Trey Lance waiting for you now instead of just a Cooper Rush, who we know Cooper Rush is not going to get bailed out if he plays a full season like he did in those 4 out of 5 games last year. So that's the difference. That's the reason why this happened. That is the reason why this happened. It's nothing more, nothing less. Insurance. Hey, Dak, you got a contract extension that we're trying to get you so we can move some money down the line for our upcoming free agents, right? But you know what, Dak? Because just in case you don't pan out to be what we thought you was going to be this year, we also got another quarterback waiting that's young that we can start fresh with. That's it. That's all it is. And that's the reason I did it on Madden. Because Dak Prescott cap hit next year is over $50 million. So again, you're not going to be able to sign. You're not going to be able to re-sign CD. You're not going to be able to re-sign Micah. And you know those two are priority. You're not going to be able to re-sign Tony Pollard if you want to. You're not going to be able to re-sign Terrence Steele if Dak Prescott is hitting you for over $50 million in the salary cap by himself. Because you still got Tank Lawrence contract on there. You still got Zach Martin's contract on there. You got Diggs contract on there. And you still got Cooks in his last year. Next year will be his last year because he's on a 2-year deal. Michael Gallup, his cap hit is going to hit you. So, yeah, you got to move that contract or you got to let him go. And just in case either or happens, you can't extend them or you do end up letting them go, you now have Trey Lance, a 23-year-old quarterback, which will be 24 at the time, that's young, talented, can run. I mean, hey, this is a good move. Simple as that. I don't know what else to tell you. That's all I got for you. I'm sorry, I did not mean to play that. My bad, y'all. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. It's no need for a long video. I'm already 5 minutes over. I wanted to keep this at 10 minutes, but 5 minutes over. Don't let the national media fool you and make you think it's a Trey Lance versus Dak Prescott thing, because it's not. Do not let these haters on social media and Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, fool you. Cowboys have not lost faith in Dak Prescott. This is just an insurance move. Simple as that, and it makes sense. I absolutely love the move. You gave up a 4th round draft pick for a former 3rd overall draft pick. And he's 23 years old. He has a lot of upside still. What else needs to be said? I don't know what else to say. I'm trying to think of something else and another way to explain it to y'all, but it's nothing else to say. That's it. There's nothing else, nothing more, nothing less. Insurance. That's it. Hey, Dak Prescott, if you fail to do anything in the playoffs, all right, man, we're gonna have to get off this contract. We're gonna use that money to re-sign CD and Micah, and we're gonna start fresh with this young guy. Hey, Dak, you had a great year, but you don't want to sign this extension and move and push your money down a couple of years, push that salary cap hit down a couple of years. Cool. We still gonna start fresh with Trey Lance, because we got to get off your money to pay Micah, because Micah's getting paid. I don't care what you say, and CD Lamb, because CD is getting paid here as well. And that's just the start. Again, don't forget about Terrence Steele. Don't forget about Tony Pollard, which I think Tony Pollard, honestly, I'm going to say this now. Tony Pollard is one and done. He's 1 year as a starter running back, and he's gone no matter what. That's my opinion. That's just my opinion. But Micah, CD, Terrence Steele, Tyron Smith contract is coming up as well. You got to make a decision with him. DeMarcus Lawrence, what you going to do with him? You're going to keep restructuring? You're going to extend him? What you going to do with DeMarcus Lawrence? It's a lot of moves needs to be made. If Gilmore have a good year, you going to re-sign him next year? He's 32 now. Are you going to re-sign him again? Is he going to take a discount? So it's a lot to get into, but it all starts with Dak Prescott's contract. So this is a big year for Dak Prescott. I've said it already before. They finally gave him the team a Super Bowl roster, a Super Bowl or bust roster, because last year was not a Super Bowl or bust roster. I don't care what y'all say. 2 years ago was not a Super Bowl or bust roster. They had holes on both teams. You didn't have nobody on the other side of Trayvon Diggs. You didn't have anybody on the other side of CD Lamb. That's not Super Bowl or bust. I'm sorry. Now it is, because you got somebody on the other side of CD Lamb. You got somebody on the other side of Trayvon Diggs. Your safeties are healthy. Tony Pollard is coming back. He should be healthy as well by the start of the season. Right now, your O-line, I believe, let me think. Did anybody get injured? I believe everybody is healthy. D-line healthy. Linebackers, we lost the rookie Overshawn, which hurts. By the way, can we not play any more games in Seattle? No more preseason games. Can we please stop going to Seattle for preseason? I don't want to see no more preseason games in Seattle with the Cowboys. Every time somebody gets hurt, every time. And it's not just a regular injury. It's always season ending or career ending. Let's not do any more preseason games in Seattle, Dallas. I'm just saying. Jerry Jones, make it happen. I don't want to see it no more. So, appreciate y'all coming through. For everybody that got questions on Facebook, if you don't watch the video, I don't know what to tell you. I already told y'all, made it clear. I'm not going back and forth. I'm not answering questions that I've already talked about on YouTube and on the website. If you got questions, here you go. You can leave your comments on YouTube, because that lets me know that you're watching the video. I answer your questions here, but not on Facebook, because that lets me know you haven't watched the video. So that is what it is. Much love to y'all. Until next time, y'all be safe. Go Cowboys, and I'll be back whenever we get some more updates, or we can talk the preseason 3 game, which, in my opinion, Dak Prescott should play. I'm tired of seeing Dak and the starters not playing. You under a new play system, under new play calling, you need to get at least one quarter in with your wide receivers and your running backs and your line, all that, because everybody know practice speed and in-game speed are two different things. And I don't care how tough the Cowboys defense been coming at them in practice. They're still holding up. They're not going to hold up in the preseason game. So Dak and the starting offense and the starting defense should play at least 1 or 2 series in this last preseason game, in my opinion. There's too many things to factor in. I don't want to do week 1 like we did week 1 last year. Well, oh man, it's his first game back and he got to knock the rust off. No, you can't go 0-1, especially when you're starting off against the NFC East foe in the Giants. You can't do it. So that's my opinion. I'm going to leave it at that. I doubt that Dak and the starters play, but we'll see. We'll see. Until next time, man, y'all be safe, and I'm old.